Hi everyone, and welcome back to Super English Talks. I'm really happy that you're here today. Thank you for taking some time to listen, learn, and grow with me. Today, we're going to talk about something that every single one of us deals with: how to organize your life. Now, I know that sounds like a big topic, and honestly, it is. But don't worry, we'll take it slow, step by step. Let me start by being real with you. I haven't always been an organized person. In fact, there were many times, especially in my early 20s, when I felt completely lost. Life felt like it was just happening to me instead of for me. I was always reacting, always running behind, forgetting things, and feeling like I was never caught up. Back then, I thought that being organized meant having a clean desk, writing to-do lists, or keeping a color-coded calendar. Those things can help, sure, but I learned that real organization goes much deeper than that. Organizing your life isn't just about keeping things neat or being super efficient. It's about creating space, space in your day, space in your mind, and space in your heart. It's about living with more purpose and less stress. Think about it. When your life feels chaotic, it's hard to focus. It's hard to feel motivated. Even when something good happens, it can be hard to enjoy it because your mind is always somewhere else, worrying about what you forgot, what you haven't done yet, or what's next on your list. That constant noise in your head can make you tired, distracted, and disconnected from yourself. But here's the good news. When you start to bring even a little bit of order to your life, things begin to change. You feel lighter. You feel calmer. You start to feel more in control, like you're actually steering your own ship again. Now, let me be clear. I'm not here to sell you some perfect system or promise that you'll have everything together by tomorrow. Life is messy. It always will be. No planner, app, or fancy routine can fix everything overnight. But what does work is taking small, consistent steps. Step by step, you can build a life that feels organized and peaceful, one that supports your goals, protects your peace, and gives you the freedom to enjoy the things that truly matter. And the best part? You don't have to wait until your life is perfect to start. You can begin right now, just as you are. In this episode, I'll be sharing some simple and practical ideas that can help you get more organized. I'll also tell a few personal stories and share some mindset tips that helped me and many others. We'll talk about things like how to stop being a perfectionist, how to deal with self-doubt, and what to do on those days when you just don't feel like doing anything at all. We'll explore how to create small, easy routines that actually work for you. We'll look at tools and systems that make your days smoother, and we'll also talk about how to stay flexible when life gets messy, because it always does. And as we go through all this, I'll be speaking to you not just as a teacher or a podcast host, but as a real person, someone who's learning and growing too. Because at the end of the day, organizing your life isn't about being perfect. It's about being kind to yourself. It's about making better choices, one day at a time. It's about building a life that fits you, not someone else's idea of success. So if you've ever felt like you're always busy but not really moving forward, or if you've been avoiding something because it just feels too overwhelming to start, this episode is for you. Take a deep breath. Get comfortable. And let's dive in together. What does organizing your life really mean? Let's start with a big question. What does it actually mean to organize your life? When people hear that phrase, they often think of cleaning out a messy drawer, buying a new planner, or writing a long to-do list. And yes, those things can definitely help, but organizing your life goes much deeper than that. It's not just about having a tidy room or putting things neatly into boxes. It's not only about your physical space. It's also about your mental space, your priorities, and your values. Think of it this way: organizing your life means creating clarity. Clarity in how you spend your time. Clarity in what truly matters to you. Clarity in how you want to live each day. It's like stepping back and looking at the big picture of your life. Ask yourself, am I spending my energy on things that move me closer to the life I really want? Or am I always busy running around, but not actually moving forward? Organizing your life is about making conscious choices instead of simply reacting to everything that happens around you. It's about living with intention, not just by habit or routine. Forget about perfection. One big mistake people often make is thinking that being organized means being perfect, that every drawer must be perfectly arranged, every goal clearly written, every task done on time. But here's the truth: perfection doesn't exist. Even the most organized people forget things sometimes. They miss appointments. They have stressful days too. The difference is that they have habits and systems that help them get back on track quickly when things go wrong. Trying to be perfect often stops you from even starting. Maybe you've told yourself things like, I'll organize my life when I have more time. I'll start when I find the perfect system. But here's the real secret: waiting for the perfect moment means you might wait forever. Organizing your life isn't about controlling everything. It's about building a life that supports you, even when things don't go as planned. It's not about having zero chaos. It's about not letting the chaos control you. It looks different for everyone. Another important thing to remember is that organizing your life doesn't look the same for everyone. We all have different personalities, routines, energy levels, and responsibilities. What works perfectly for one person might not work at all for someone else. For example, a person who loves structure and lists might enjoy detailed daily planning. But for someone who's more spontaneous, that same routine might feel like being trapped. A parent with young children will organize their time differently from a university student or someone working 2 jobs. There's no single right way to be organized. It's not about copying someone else's routine or following what you see online. It's about finding what works best for you and your life. Maybe you need structure in the mornings to start your day calmly. Maybe your brain works better in the evening, and that's when you focus best. Maybe you love writing things down in a notebook, or maybe an app keeps you on track. Maybe you think best in silence, or maybe your best ideas come during a walk. All of that is part of learning about yourself. Know yourself first. Organizing your life starts with self-awareness, with understanding who you are and what you need. Don't just follow every new productivity trend or copy what someone else is doing. Instead, take time to ask yourself some important questions. What makes me feel calm and focused? What drains my energy? When do I feel most alive or productive? When you know these things, you can build a system that fits you, not someone else's version of success. Organize around your values. Here's another piece that people often forget. Your values play a huge role in how you organize your life. For example, if you value family, you might choose to spend more time with loved ones, even if it means saying no to other things. If you value creativity, you might need to leave open space in your day for ideas, reflection, or artistic work. If you value growth, you might set aside time each week to learn, read, or practice something new. Without knowing your values, it's easy to stay busy without feeling truly fulfilled. You can have a full schedule but still feel empty. So ask yourself, what truly matters to me? Where do I want my time and energy to go? When your daily choices match your values, life starts to feel more peaceful and meaningful. Mental clarity matters too. And finally, remember that organization isn't only about the outside world. Sometimes, the messiest place is your mind. You can have a spotless home, a perfect planner, and still feel overwhelmed if your thoughts are all over the place. That's why mental organization, taking time to rest, reflect, and reset is just as important as cleaning your desk or making lists. It could mean journaling for 5 minutes a day, meditating, going for a walk, or simply taking deep breaths to clear your head. When your mind is clear, it becomes easier to make good decisions, focus on what matters, and live with purpose. Too many thoughts, too many decisions. Sometimes life just feels like too much, too many thoughts, too many decisions, too much pressure. Our minds get crowded, our schedules get full, and it starts to feel like we're always running, but never really resting. That's why organizing your life isn't only about cleaning your space or managing your time, it's also about calming your mind. When you start to organize your life, you begin to clear away mental noise. You learn how to slow down, focus better, and make room to simply think without distractions. That might mean journaling for a few minutes every day, sitting quietly in meditation, or even just turning off your phone for an hour and breathing. You're not a machine. You're a human being, and your brain needs rest, space, and order too. So remember, organizing your life isn't about looking perfect on the outside. It's about feeling calm and clear on the inside. A lifelong practice. And here's something really important. Organizing your life isn't a one-time project. It's not something you do once and then check off the list. It's something you come back to again and again, like checking your compass on a long journey. Because life changes, and so do we. What felt balanced and organized 6 months ago might not work anymore. And that's completely okay. The goal isn't to finish organizing your life. The goal is to keep growing, to keep learning, and to keep adjusting. It's about checking in with yourself regularly and asking, does this still work for me? Does this routine still help me move forward? If there's one message I hope you take from this part of the episode, it's this. Being organized isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more of yourself, but with less stress, more peace, and a clearer path ahead. Step 1. Start with self-awareness. Before you can organize your life, you have to understand what your life actually looks like right now. It sounds simple, but this is the step that most people skip. They jump straight into action, buying planners, making long to-do lists, downloading new apps, or watching endless time management videos. But they forget to stop and ask the most important question. What's really going on in my life right now? Where is your time going? Where is your energy going? What's working and what isn't? This first step, self-awareness, is where real change begins. Take a moment to reflect. Let's pause for a second. Think about your last week. Can you remember how you spent most of your time? What did you do after work or after school? How often did you feel calm and focused? And how often did you feel rushed, distracted, or exhausted? These questions aren't meant to make you feel guilty. They're meant to help you notice. Because if you don't know where your time and energy are going, how can you ever change them? Notice your patterns. A simple exercise you can try is to write down a timeline of your day. Nothing fancy, just an honest list of what you do and when. Do you spend 30 minutes scrolling on your phone every morning before you even get out of bed? Do you work long hours without taking a single break? Do you often say yes to things you don't actually want to do? Becoming aware of your daily habits helps you see what's actually helping you and what's holding you back. Maybe your mornings are calm and productive, but your evenings feel chaotic. Maybe you're great at work, but your personal life feels out of balance. Or maybe you're trying to do everything at once, and by the end of the day, you're just tired and disappointed. That's why self-awareness is so powerful. It gives you the clarity to see the truth about your own patterns. Observe, don't judge. Self-awareness isn't about judging yourself or feeling bad about your habits. It's about observing with honesty and kindness. Think of it like checking a map before a trip. If you don't know where you are right now, how will you know which direction to go next? When you become more aware of your life, your habits, your thoughts, your time, you finally have the information you need to start changing things in a real, lasting way. That's how true organization begins, not with a fancy planner or a new app, but with understanding yourself. Understanding your energy, not just your time. Another powerful part of self-awareness is learning to understand your energy, not just your time. Most of us think about productivity in terms of hours, how much we can do in one day, how many tasks we can complete. But the truth is, not all hours are equal. You've probably felt this before. There are times when you've had a long, stressful day and even a simple email feels impossible to write. And other times, you're in the flow, ideas come easily, you're focused, and everything just works. That difference isn't about how much time you have. It's about your energy, your focus, and your emotional state. So instead of only asking, how do I spend my time? Start asking, when do I feel most focused? What gives me energy? What drains it? These small insights can make a big difference. They help you organize your day in a way that feels more natural and less forced. For example, if you notice that your energy is highest in the morning, you can schedule your most important work for that time. If you feel drained after long meetings, maybe you add a short break or walk afterwards to reset. When you understand your own energy patterns, you stop fighting against yourself. You begin to work with your natural rhythm instead of pushing through exhaustion. Knowing what you truly care about. Now, let's go a little deeper. One of the most important parts of organizing your life is knowing what you actually care about, your values. We all say that certain things matter to us: family, health, creativity, freedom, learning. But sometimes, the way we live doesn't match what we say we value. We say we care about our health, but we don't sleep enough. We say we want peace, but we fill our calendars with too many plans. We say we value relationships, but we're too busy to spend time with the people we love. This creates a gap, a space between what we say we want and how we actually live. And that gap often shows up as stress, guilt, or confusion. So ask yourself, what do I truly value? What kind of life do I want to build? You don't need to have perfect answers right now. Even a few small reflections can bring clarity. If you value creativity, protect time in your week to write, paint, design, or just think freely. If you value connection, spend more time with people who make you feel supported and understood. If you value growth, set aside quiet time to learn something new or reflect on your progress. When your daily actions line up with your values, life starts to feel more organized, not because everything is perfect, but because everything has purpose. Defining success for yourself. Sometimes people feel lost or unfulfilled even when, on paper, they've done everything right. They followed the rules, got the degree, found the job, checked all the boxes, and yet, something still feels missing. That's because they're living someone else's version of success. Self-awareness helps you see what success means for you. It helps you say no to the things that don't fit and yes to the things that truly do. And that's one of the most powerful parts of feeling organized. It's not just about your schedule or your space. It's about your heart and mind being in the right place. Self-awareness doesn't need fancy tools. The best thing about this step, self-awareness, is that it doesn't require any special tools, apps, or systems. All it needs is your attention. Even 5 minutes a day of honest reflection can change your life. You can journal, talk to a friend, take a quiet walk, or simply sit and notice how you feel. There's no one right way to do it. What matters is that you start noticing your life, noticing what feels right, what feels heavy, and what feels missing. So before you rush to change everything, take a breath. Pause. Look around. Ask yourself, where am I right now? What's working for me? What needs to change? What do I want to feel more of, and what do I want to feel less of? This isn't about becoming a different person. It's about reconnecting with yourself, the real you, and beginning to design a life that actually fits who you are. The power of small systems. Now let's talk about one of the biggest lessons I've learned when it comes to organizing your life. You can't rely on motivation alone. Motivation is great when it's there. It gives you energy, excitement, and focus. But the truth is, motivation comes and goes. That's why you need small, steady systems, little routines, and habits that keep you moving even when you don't feel inspired. The power of small systems. Some days, you wake up feeling ready to take on the world. You're focused, motivated, and full of energy. And then there are other days, the days when you'd rather stay in bed, hide under the blanket, and forget your responsibilities for a while. That's completely normal. Everyone feels that way sometimes. But here's the mistake many people make. They wait to feel motivated before they start doing something important. They tell themselves, I'll do it when I feel ready. I'll start when I have more energy. But if you wait for motivation to magically appear, you might be waiting for a long time. Motivation is unpredictable. It comes and goes, like the weather. So what's the solution? How can you stay consistent even when you don't feel like it? The answer is something more stable and reliable than motivation. It's called systems. What are systems? Systems are small, repeatable actions or routines that help you stay on track, even when you're tired, distracted, or unmotivated. When you have good systems, you don't need to decide what to do every single day. The system decides for you. It's like building a path in your life, a path that's clear and easy to follow, even when things around you feel chaotic. Over time, these systems turn into habits, and those habits slowly become part of who you are. A simple example, the morning routine. Let's take a classic example, a morning routine. A lot of successful and balanced people talk about their morning routines, and for good reason. How you start your day often sets the tone for everything that follows. Now, I'm not saying you need to wake up at 5 a.m., drink green juice, and meditate for an hour. That might work for some people, but not for everyone. What matters isn't the time you wake up, it's having some kind of structure that helps you begin your day with intention. Your morning routine might be as simple as making your bed, stretching for 5 minutes, writing a short to-do list, or just drinking a glass of water and sitting quietly before checking your phone. These tiny actions signal to your brain, okay, the day is starting. And once it becomes a habit, you don't even need to think about it. You just do it naturally. Another example, weekly planning. Here's another great system, weekly planning. Maybe every Sunday evening, you spend just 15 or 20 minutes looking at the week ahead. Ask yourself, what do I have coming up? Are there any meetings, deadlines, or appointments? What are my top 3 priorities for the week? This simple check-in helps you prepare mentally, avoid surprises, and reduce stress. It's a small habit, but it creates a huge sense of calm and control. Consistency over intensity. This brings us to a really important idea. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. Doing something small every day is almost always better than doing something big once in a while. For example, journaling for 5 minutes every night is more powerful than writing for an hour once a month. Exercising for 15 minutes 3 times a week is better than spending 2 hours at the gym once and never going back. Planning your week every Sunday works better than trying to organize everything after it's already chaotic. It's those small, regular actions that lead to real, lasting change. We live in a world that celebrates big results, fast progress, huge goals, dramatic transformations. But behind every big success story, there are usually tiny, consistent daily steps. Systems and habits aren't exciting. They're not dramatic. But they work. They give you structure when you're tired. They keep you steady when life gets messy. And most importantly, they keep you connected to your goals, not through force, but through rhythm. Building your own systems. If you're trying to get organized, start by asking yourself, what small systems can I build into my day? Here are a few ideas. The 25-minute focus timer. Set a timer for 25 minutes of focused work, followed by a 5-minute break. End-of-day reflection. Before bed, write down your top 3 priorities for tomorrow. Weekly meal prep. Spend a short time every weekend planning your meals so your week feels less stressful. These little systems might seem simple, but together they create a strong foundation. They make your life smoother, lighter, and more intentional. And remember, you don't need to create all your systems at once. Start small. Pick 1 or 2 habits that matter most right now. Build consistency first and add more later. That's how you turn good intentions into real, lasting change. You don't need a system for everything. You don't need to create a big, complicated system for every part of your life. That would only make things more stressful. Instead, just choose one area that feels messy or out of control and start there. Maybe your mornings always feel rushed. Maybe your desk is always full of papers. Or maybe you feel like you never have time to study or exercise. Pick one area and focus on that first. There's a quote I really love. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. That means your goals are important, of course they are. But it's your systems that actually help you reach them. Your goals show you where you want to go. Your systems are the steps that take you there. Goals need systems. Let's take a simple example. Imagine your goal is to speak better English. That's a wonderful goal, but by itself, it's too big and too vague. You can't just say, I want to speak better English and expect it to happen. You need a system that supports it. Your system might be something like this. Listening to this podcast 3 times a week. Reviewing new words after each episode. And practicing speaking with a friend once a week. That's it. Simple and clear. You don't need to feel motivated every single time. You just need to follow the system. When your systems are small, realistic, and easy to repeat, they stop feeling like something extra and start feeling like a natural part of your day. Just like brushing your teeth or making coffee. Over time, these little routines become part of who you are. They save you energy. They reduce stress. They make life smoother and more organized, not just for 1 week, but again and again. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't search for the perfect planner, the newest app, or the best productivity hack. Start smaller. Build a simple system. Stick with it. And trust that those small, quiet steps are shaping the life you want. One day at a time. Mindset shifts that make a difference. When we talk about organizing your life, the biggest challenge usually isn't the tools or the systems. It's your mindset. The thoughts, beliefs, and stories you tell yourself. Because even the best system won't work. If your mind is full of doubt or fear, you probably know that little voice in your head that says, what if I mess up? What if I'm not good enough? If it's not perfect, I shouldn't even try. That voice has a name. It's called perfectionism. The trap of perfectionism. Perfectionism is sneaky. It makes you set standards so high that you end up feeling stuck before you even start. You tell yourself, I'll begin when I'm ready. I'll try after I study more. I'll do it once everything is perfect. But here's the truth. Waiting for perfect is like waiting for a train that never arrives. You stand there on the platform, watching other people move forward, while you stay exactly where you are. I know this because I've been there too. My story. When I first decided to learn English seriously, I felt nervous and unsure of myself. I thought I need to speak perfectly before I talk to anyone. So I studied grammar and vocabulary alone for months, reading books, watching videos, taking notes. But I never actually spoke to anyone. Why? Because I was afraid of making mistakes. I kept thinking, I'm not ready yet. But the more I waited, the harder it became to start. It was like climbing a mountain that kept getting taller every day. Eventually, I realized something that completely changed my mindset. Done is better than perfect. What done is better than perfect really means. This phrase means it's better to do something imperfectly than to do nothing at all because you're afraid of failing. It's better to speak one simple sentence in English, even with mistakes, than to stay silent waiting for the perfect moment. It's better to clean one small corner of your room than to wait until you have the time and energy to clean everything. It's better to start, even if it's messy, small, or awkward, because action creates momentum, and momentum is what leads to real progress. When you choose done over perfect, you give yourself permission to learn, to grow, and to improve over time. You start to understand that mistakes aren't failures. They're part of the process. That's where confidence comes from. That's where growth begins. So next time you catch yourself waiting for the perfect moment, remember this. You don't need perfect. You just need to begin. Self-doubt, fear of failure, and perfectionism. Self-doubt and fear of failure often come together with perfectionism. They're like close friends that whisper the same kind of thoughts in your head. What if I fail? What if people judge me? What if I'm not good enough? If you've ever felt that way, you're not alone. Everyone has. Even the most confident people you see have had those same thoughts before doing something new or important. These fears are completely natural. They're part of being human. The key isn't to make them disappear. It's to stop letting them control your choices. Failure is not the enemy. Here's something that might surprise you. Failure isn't the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. Every mistake, every uncomfortable moment, every time something doesn't go as planned, it's all part of learning. Each mistake gives you a small lesson. It shows you what doesn't work so you can find what does. It helps you grow stronger, more patient, and more prepared for the next step. If you never fail, it probably means you're not trying hard enough or not taking risks that really matter to you. The people who succeed aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who keep trying after they do. Awareness is the first step. Changing your mindset isn't easy. These thoughts, the fear, the doubt, the perfectionism, often live deep inside us. They've been there for years, so they start to feel normal, even comfortable. Like a habit you don't even notice anymore. That's why the first step is awareness. When you notice that voice in your head saying, "You're not ready," or "You're going to mess this up," pause for a second. Don't get angry with yourself. Don't say, "I shouldn't think that way." Instead, gently say, here's that fear again. It's okay. I can still try." That small bit of kindness makes a huge difference. It breaks the cycle of harsh self-criticism and helps you move forward with more calm and confidence. Start small, build confidence slowly. Progress doesn't have to be big or fast. Sometimes just starting small is enough to build your confidence. I remember when I finally decided to start speaking English with a friend. I was terrified. I forgot words, mixed up grammar, and stumbled over simple sentences. But here's what surprised me. Every time I tried, it got a little easier. Each small step made me feel a little braver. And eventually, the fear started to fade. It didn't happen overnight, but it happened because I kept showing up. So if you've ever been so afraid of doing something wrong that you didn't even start, remember, you're not the only one. Ask yourself, what's really stopping me? Is it the fear of failure? Is it perfectionism? Is it self-doubt? Then, challenge those feelings with gentle honesty. Remind yourself that done is better than perfect. Remind yourself that every expert was once a beginner. When you shift from fear and perfectionism to action and kindness, you begin to unlock real progress, not just in how you organize your life, but in how you live it. Because no matter how many systems, planners, or productivity tools you use, if your mind is stuck on "I can't," it's hard to move forward. But when you start saying, "I will try," or "I will learn," everything begins to open up. So take a moment today to reflect. What mindset might be holding you back? And how can you be a little kinder to yourself right now? Remember, organizing your life isn't about being perfect. It's about being brave enough to start, to make mistakes, and to keep going. Decluttering your space and your mind. When people hear the phrase, organize your life, they often think first about cleaning, tidying up their room, clearing their desk, or sorting through old papers. And yes, that's part of it. A clean physical space can help you think more clearly. But organizing your life is about more than just putting things into boxes. It also means decluttering your mind, clearing out the thoughts, worries, and distractions that fill up your mental space. Both kinds of clutter, physical and mental, can make you feel tired and stressed, even if you don't realize it right away. The power of physical space. Let's start with your physical space. Think about your room or your workspace for a moment. Is it tidy or messy? Are there piles of papers, clothes, or books lying around? What about your phone? Is your home screen full of apps you never use? Physical clutter affects you more than you might think. Every item you see is like a small piece of information your brain has to process. When there's too much stuff around, your brain works harder just to focus. That's why cleaning up your space can make you feel calmer, because your mind doesn't have to fight through all that visual noise. Decluttering your space and your mind. Have you ever tried to read a book in a noisy, crowded cafe? You can still read, but it's hard to focus. There are voices around you, music playing, and people walking by. Your eyes are on the page, but your attention is scattered. That's what clutter does to your mind. When your environment is messy, or when your thoughts are all over the place, your brain has to work extra hard just to stay focused. Cleaning and organizing your space doesn't have to be a big, stressful project. You don't have to spend an entire weekend throwing things away or buying fancy containers. Often, small changes make a big difference. You can start with something as simple as clearing your desk at the end of each day. When you wake up the next morning and see a clean, open space, it sets a peaceful tone for your day. Or you might delete a few unused apps from your phone. It takes just a minute, but suddenly your screen feels lighter and calmer, like breathing fresh air after a long day indoors. Even organizing your digital space matters more than most people realize. Many of us have hundreds of unread emails, messy folders, or random screenshots saved for later. These small bits of digital clutter quietly build up stress. Spending just 10 minutes cleaning your inbox, renaming files, or creating simple folders can bring a surprising sense of relief. It's not just about neatness, it's about feeling clear and in control. Understanding mental clutter. Now, let's talk about mental clutter. Your mind is like a computer. It holds memories, plans, worries, and thoughts, sometimes all at once. When your mental storage is full, it becomes harder to focus, to think clearly, or to stay calm. Mental clutter can look like racing thoughts, endless what-ifs, or the constant feeling that you're forgetting something. You might feel restless or anxious without knowing exactly why. It's not that your life is falling apart, it's just that your mind is too full. One way to clear mental clutter is by doing a digital detox. That simply means taking a break from screens, social media, and constant notifications. Our phones and computers keep us connected, but they also keep us overstimulated. Every ping, message, and scroll takes a little bit of our mental energy. Even a short break, 1 hour without checking your phone, or an afternoon away from social media, can help your mind breathe again. You'll be surprised by how quiet and refreshing it feels. Journaling and to-do lists. Another powerful way to organize your mind is through journaling. When your head feels crowded, writing things down is like opening a window to let fresh air in. You don't have to write pages and pages, even a few sentences about how your day went, what's worrying you, or what you're grateful for can make a big difference. Writing helps your thoughts slow down. It turns confusion into clarity. And if journaling isn't your style, you can try to-do lists. When you try to remember everything in your head, your brain stays busy all the time, juggling mental reminders like buy groceries, call mom, and finish that report. Writing a list takes that pressure off. You don't have to remember everything. It's right there in front of you. Your to-do list doesn't need to be long. Even writing down 3 important tasks each day can help you stay focused and feel more accomplished. Small lists done consistently create calm. Why clutter creates stress? You might wonder, why does clutter, physical or mental, make us feel tired or anxious, even when we don't notice it? It's because our brains like order and predictability. When things around us or inside us are messy, our brain has to work harder to make sense of it all. That constant effort uses up mental energy. It's like carrying a heavy backpack all day. You might not notice it at first, but after a while, your shoulders ache and you feel exhausted. That's what clutter does. It slowly drains your energy without you realizing it. When you begin to declutter your surroundings and your thoughts, it's like setting that backpack down. You suddenly feel lighter, calmer, and more focused. You can think clearly, make decisions more easily, and handle challenges with less stress. A simple challenge. So, here's a small challenge for you this week. Pick one small area to declutter. It could be your desk, your phone's home screen, your bag, or even your email inbox. Spend just 10 or 15 minutes cleaning that one space. Then, try a simple mental decluttering habit. You could write a short journal entry at the end of the day, take a short walk without your phone, or turn off your notifications for an hour. Notice how you feel afterward. Does your mind feel lighter? Do you feel calmer, more focused, or more relaxed? You might be surprised by how much difference a few small actions can make. Decluttering, both physical and mental, isn't about creating a perfect space or a perfect mind. It's about creating space for peace. When you do, you'll find it's much easier to stay organized, focused, and connected to what truly matters in your life. Decluttering isn't about perfection. Decluttering isn't about making everything perfect or spotless. It's not about having a picture-perfect home or a flawless schedule. It's about creating space, both around you and inside you, where you can think clearly, breathe deeply, and feel more in control. When your space feels calm, your mind follows. And that's one of the most important steps toward organizing your life in a way that truly works for you, not just for a week, but for the long run. Tools and techniques that actually work. When it comes to organizing your life, there are so many tools and techniques out there. Some are simple and old-fashioned. Others are digital and high-tech. You've probably heard of planners, calendars, apps, or time management systems that promise to transform your productivity. But here's an important truth. There is no one-size-fits-all solution. What works perfectly for someone else might not work at all for you, and that's completely okay. The secret is to experiment, stay curious, and find what truly fits your lifestyle, your personality, and your goals. Let's look at some practical tools you can try and how to use them in a way that feels natural, not forced. 1. The power of a calendar. A calendar is one of the simplest and most powerful tools for organization. It doesn't matter whether it's a paper calendar on your wall, a planner on your desk, or a digital one on your phone, the idea is the same. Calendars help you free up mental space by taking information out of your head and putting it somewhere reliable. You don't have to keep remembering appointments, birthdays, or deadlines. It's all there, clearly laid out for you. For example, if you have a doctor's appointment next week or a project deadline coming up, adding it to your calendar means you won't have to rely on memory. You can plan your time better and avoid that last-minute stress of, oh no, I forgot. Digital calendars, like Google Calendar or Apple Calendar, are especially helpful because they send reminders and sync across all your devices. But if you prefer writing things down, a paper calendar can be just as effective. What matters most is that you use it consistently. 2. Planners. Structure meets flexibility. A planner is like a calendar's creative cousin. It not only helps you track dates and deadlines, but also gives you space to plan your days, write to-do lists, reflect, and set goals. Many people love planners because they bring together structure and creativity. You can list your tasks, jot down ideas, and even write small notes of gratitude or reflections about your day. There are many types of planners: daily, weekly, minimalist, colorful, artistic, or goal-oriented ones. Some people even design their own using printable templates online. The most important thing is to choose a planner you actually enjoy using. If it feels like a chore, you'll stop. But if it feels like a friendly space that supports you, you'll naturally return to it each day. Think of your planner as a gentle companion, not a strict boss. 3. Notes and digital apps. In today's digital world, note-taking apps have become a powerful way to stay organized. Apps like Google Keep, Evernote, Notion, or Microsoft OneNote let you capture ideas, to-do lists, and reminders anytime, anywhere. They're especially useful for people who are often on the go. For example, if you suddenly remember something while commuting or shopping, you can quickly add it to your notes before you forget. The best part is that everything stays in one place. No more sticky notes scattered across your desk or random thoughts lost in your head. Your notes are synced, searchable, and ready whenever you need them. If you're not into digital tools, a small notebook works just as well. The goal isn't the tool, it's the habit of writing things down so your mind can relax. 4. Time blocking. Focus with intention. Another powerful technique for organizing your day is time blocking. Time blocking means setting specific blocks of time for certain tasks instead of jumping between activities. For example, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. reply to emails, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. focused work or writing, 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. short break or walk. When you schedule your time like this, you give each task your full attention. You're not multitasking or constantly switching gears, and that makes your mind much calmer and more productive. Time blocking also helps prevent procrastination. When something has a set time, it's easier to start. You don't waste energy wondering, when should I do this? You already know. The key, Make it work for you. These tools, calendars, planners, apps, time blocking, are just options. You don't need to use all of them. Start with one or two that feel easiest and most natural for your lifestyle. The goal is not to fill every minute of your day with structure. The goal is to create systems that give you peace, clarity, and flow. Remember, organization is not about being busy all the time. It's about designing your life so you can focus on what truly matters with less stress and more freedom. Trying, failing, and finding what works. Even though all these tools and techniques sound helpful, it's important to be honest with yourself. You probably won't find the perfect method on the first try. Organizing your life is not a single decision. It's a process of trial and error. Maybe you start using a planner, but realize it's too detailed or time-consuming. Or you try time blocking, but feel too restricted by the schedule. That's completely normal. The point is not to get discouraged, but to learn from each experience. Every time you try something new, you gain valuable information about what works for you and what doesn't. Think of organizing your life like trying on clothes in a store. Some outfits will fit perfectly, others won't feel comfortable at all. You don't give up after one outfit doesn't fit. You keep trying until you find your style. The same principle applies here. Keep experimenting with different tools and techniques until you find the ones that feel natural, supportive, and easy to maintain. Start simple and stay consistent. Don't feel pressured to use many tools at once. Sometimes less is more. Starting with one simple tool and using it consistently is often better than juggling several and feeling overwhelmed. For example, you might begin with just a basic calendar and a small notebook for your to-do lists. Once that feels comfortable and natural, you can add more tools if needed. Also, feel free to mix digital and physical systems if that works best for you. Some people love writing things by hand because it helps them think clearly and remember better. Others prefer digital tools because they're convenient, quick, and easy to access anywhere. There's no right or wrong answer, only what supports your lifestyle and preferences. So, my advice is this. Explore different tools. Be patient with yourself. And remember that organizing your life is a journey, not a one-time event. The right tools make that journey smoother and more enjoyable, but what matters most is your willingness to keep trying and learning. If you haven't already, pick one small tool this week. Maybe download a calendar app, buy a simple planner, or start a short to-do list on your phone. Then, pay attention to how it feels. Does it make things clearer? Does it help you feel more relaxed or focused? And if it doesn't work, that's perfectly okay. Try something else next time. Finding the right tools and techniques is like finding a comfortable pair of shoes. When they fit well, you feel supported, confident, and ready to move forward. That's exactly what organizing your life is about, finding the best way for you to take steady steps toward your goals, day by day. Staying organized when life gets messy. One of the most important truths about organizing your life is this: life itself is unpredictable. No matter how carefully you plan or how many tools you use, things won't always go the way you expect. Sometimes you'll face a sudden change at work, a family emergency, or a period when you simply feel tired and unmotivated. And that's okay. Being organized doesn't mean being perfect or in control all the time. It means being flexible, having systems that can bend when life pushes you around. Staying organized when life gets messy. This is completely normal. Life is full of ups and downs, and learning to stay organized doesn't mean you have to control everything perfectly. Instead, it's about being ready to adapt and showing kindness to yourself when things get messy. Many people think that organizing their life means everything has to go perfectly every day. If a day or week doesn't go according to plan, they feel like they've failed. But that kind of thinking can be stressful, and it can even stop you from trying at all. The truth is, flexibility is key. When unexpected challenges appear, like a sudden change at work, an urgent task, or simply feeling exhausted, it's okay to adjust your plans or slow down. What matters most is not being perfect, but continuing to move forward, even if it's in a different way than you imagined. Flexibility in action. Being flexible means giving yourself permission to adjust your routines. For example, maybe you usually wake up early to exercise. One morning, you feel very tired, or something urgent comes up. Instead of criticizing yourself for skipping your workout, you could do a shorter session later or take a rest day knowing you'll return tomorrow. The key is to listen to your body and your situation and adapt your plan with kindness, not judgment. The role of self-compassion. Along with flexibility, self-compassion is essential. This means treating yourself with the same understanding and patience you would offer a good friend. When life gets stressful, many people become self-critical, saying things like, "I'm so lazy. I always mess up." But these harsh thoughts only make things worse. Instead, try saying, "It's okay to struggle sometimes. I'm doing my best, and that's enough." This gentle attitude helps you recover faster and stay motivated to continue organizing your life. Small resets. Sometimes, when things feel chaotic, it's helpful to reset your routines instead of aiming for perfection. Resetting doesn't mean starting over or fixing everything at once. It's about taking small, manageable steps to bring back order and balance. For example, after a busy week where your schedule fell apart, spend 10 minutes planning the next day. Or tidy a small area of your home. These small resets help you feel in control again and reduce stress without overwhelming you. Patience and perspective. Remember, staying organized is a long-term process. There will be times when you feel in control and everything flows smoothly. There will also be times when it feels like everything is falling apart. Both are normal parts of life. The goal is to keep going, to be patient with yourself, and to use tools like flexibility, self-compassion, small resets to handle the messy moments. A simple exercise. Here's a little exercise you can try the next time things feel difficult. Pause and take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what is really important right now? What small step can I take to feel a bit more organized or calm? Take that small step. It could be writing a quick to-do list, clearing your desk, taking 5 minutes to rest. Even tiny actions like these, combined with awareness, can make a big difference in how you feel. So, if life throws you a curveball, remember, it's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to slow down. Being organized is not about perfection. It's about moving forward, one small step at a time, with patience and kindness toward yourself. Organizing your life. The bigger picture. Organizing your life is not about being perfect. It's about being flexible, kind to yourself, and ready to reset when needed. This mindset helps you stay balanced and keep moving forward, no matter what life brings. In the end, organizing your life is a way to support yourself through the ups and downs. It's a practice of patience, kindness, and resilience. The more you practice these qualities, the stronger and calmer you will feel, even when life gets messy. Why organizing your life matters. As we wrap up this episode, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've talked about and why organizing your life truly matters. Organizing your life isn't just about schedules, planners, or tidy spaces. It's about creating emotional clarity, a sense of calm in your mind and heart. When you take small steps to bring order to your day, you're also making space for peace, focus, confidence. Life feels less chaotic, and you can make better choices because your mind is clearer. You may even notice that when your environment and your thoughts are more organized, your energy increases, and you feel more motivated to pursue your goals. Embrace patience and small steps. Let's be honest, organizing your life isn't always easy. It takes patience, practice, and a gentle attitude toward yourself. Sometimes you'll face setbacks, distractions, or days when nothing goes as planned. And that's okay. What matters most is to keep going, even if your progress is slow or imperfect. Every small step you take is a victory. Remember, the goal is not perfection, it's progress and growth. Take one small step today. I want to encourage you to take one small step toward organizing your life today. It could be something simple like clearing your desk for 5 minutes, writing a to-do list for tomorrow, deleting a few unused apps from your phone. Even tiny actions can create momentum. They help you build positive habits over time. These small victories may seem minor at first, but over days and weeks, they add up. They create positive changes that you may not notice immediately, but that will improve your overall well-being and make your life feel calmer, clearer, and more manageable. The takeaway: organizing your life is not about doing everything perfectly. It's about taking small, consistent steps, being patient, and showing yourself kindness along the way. Every little effort brings you closer to a life that feels calmer, clearer, and more aligned with what truly matters to you. Remember, each step, no matter how small, is a victory. And that is the real power of organizing your life. Before we finish, I'd like to leave you with a few reflective questions. Take a moment to think about them. You can even write your answers in a notebook or say them out loud to practice your English speaking skills. What's one habit I want to change to organize my life better? Maybe it's stopping procrastination, planning your day more carefully, or setting boundaries with technology. Identifying this habit is the first step to making a change. What's the first area in my life I'd like to bring order to? It might be your physical space, like your room or workspace. Or it could be your mental space, such as reducing worries or managing your time better. Thinking clearly about where to start helps you focus your energy and prevents feeling overwhelmed. Am I being patient and kind to myself? Remember, organizing your life is a personal journey. It looks different for everyone. Don't compare yourself to others. Celebrate your progress and be patient with yourself. You are capable of creating a life that feels balanced and meaningful one step at a time. Share, connect, and keep learning. If you found this episode helpful, share it with a friend who might also enjoy organizing their life. Don't forget to subscribe to Super English Talks for more episodes that help you improve your English while exploring meaningful topics. You can also leave a comment or send me a message about your organizing journey. I'd love to hear your stories and support you. Final thoughts. Remember, organizing your life is not about being perfect. It's about creating space for what truly matters to you. Take that first step today and keep moving forward, even when life feels messy. You've got this. Until next time, take care, stay flexible, and keep coding your life and your English.